Making sure your consent procedure is correct and up to date before conducting research is essential to good human rights documentation practice. Victims of human rights violations need to have a clear understanding of what the research is for, what will happen to their information, and what their rights are during and after the interview. Doing so provides necessary protection for both the interviewer's organisation and the research participant. It may also be important if the data is to be shared with third parties in the future. Here are 9 things to consider when developing an informed consent procedure. 1. Interviewers and documenters should identify themselves and the organisations they work for. Explain the role of your organisation and important information about any affiliations the organisation may have, such as with a government, religious group, legal body, or international organisation. This will allow the participant to assess the credibility of the documenter and the organisation they represent. 2. Tell the participant the purpose of the interview. Explain clearly the procedure for obtaining the testimony and how the information will be used. This will allow the participant to understand what they will be required to share with the documenter. In the future, if the testimony is to be used in a different way from the original purpose, updated informed consent should be obtained. 3. Tell the participant who will be using and accessing the information, as well as how the information will be stored. Also be sure to inform the participant of how the information will be used, whether in organisation reports, investigation or judicial processes, advocacy materials, in United Nations submissions, or in other ways. 4. The interviewee must understand potential risks and benefits of participating in the interview. The interviewer should create a comfortable, non-threatening environment and allow the interviewee to have time to understand and ask questions about any risks to taking part. The positive contributions the participants will make to the research should also be made clear. 5. The participants should provide all information voluntarily. In situations where financial compensation is given for participation, for example, for the cost of transport or a meal, take care to assess whether this serves as an indirect form of enforcement. The participants should know they can refuse to participate in the interview or stop at any time during the interview. If they choose not to participate or stop during the interview, this should not affect any financial compensation they have been promised, nor should it affect their relationship with the interviewing organisation. 6. Participants should be made aware that they can contact the documenter or the organisation after the interview to ask any questions they may have regarding the use of the information, changes to the information they have submitted, or withdrawal of consent to participate. 7. Inform the participants about any ways the information may be shared with or used by third parties. Ensure compliance with any national data protection laws, and inform the participants about how personally identifiable data, such as names, is collected and stored. 8. Informed consent can be obtained by oral consent or written consent, depending on what is appropriate for the local context. When you obtain written consent, make sure the participants have enough time to read and understand the content and to ask any questions they may have. Oral consent may be preferable for subjects who are illiterate. Oral consent could be recorded either on audio or video with the permission of the participants. You should ensure the signed documents are kept in a safe place, such as an office safe or lockable cabinet. 9. When interviewing individuals who have not reached the age of a legal adult in your country, informed consent should be obtained from a legally authorized representative or parent. These are 9 things to keep in mind when developing an informed consent procedure. Please remember, this list should be tailored or expanded depending on your context and the circumstances of your participants. If possible, seek the advice of a legal professional on your consent procedure and ensure to revise it on a regular basis to make any necessary changes. For more detailed information on designing a consent form and a consent procedure, see the links to further resources.